Hello, everyone. Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Batman 149. This is a new book from DC Comics. The closing chapter in this really long-standing arc for Chip Zdarsky for now. We are about to get into absolute power. But before that, let's talk about this issue. Let's talk about the creative team. We have a good fantasy written by Chip Zdarsky with art by Michael Bandini and Steve Lever. We also have Nick Filardi on colors, Clayton Cowell on letters, beautiful cover by Jorge Jimenez. And of course, we'll have more covers for the variants that you can see at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Um, I guess since this is kind of a closing chapter in this first really long standing arc by Chip Zdarsky, before I get into this specific issue, I've really enjoyed the journey that he's taken Bruce on. I think that Chip really has understood what what we want to see from Bruce. At least I do. Chip also really approached this in a very balanced way, where we have a lot of emotional things happening, of course, mixed in with the action, bringing in some old concepts like the Batman Zur-En-Arrh, taking Bruce across different worlds and dimensions to showcase different things. And of course, as any good writer, you kind of want to bring things back to some status quo. I don't know if Chip Zdarsky's done writing the book. I should do some more research into that. I know this absolute power thing is about to kick off, so that'll give DC a chance to figure out what the next step is. Um, but yeah, this is just really fun stuff. I really enjoyed every one of the arcs. Was weird and different and had some really interesting concepts. Not everything hit 100% with me, but overall, I really enjoyed this. So let's get into this specific issue. An epilogue: all we've lost and all we've left behind. When confronted with the totality of your life and all your choices that led to where you are, do you build on the ashes or rise from them? The Batman who is left standing will have to answer this question quickly, as someone is sifting through those ashes with an eye towards saving the world. So you got to remember, even though that the battle with Failsafe slash Batman Zur-En-Arrh, this other Batman, is done, there's still a little bit of things to address, specifically that clone of Bruce that Failsafe created in order to have his own Robin. And that's what this issue is all about. But this issue is also about moving forward, rebuilding. And like I said, I think this is one of those emotional issues that I was talking about. And it's very well done. I think the combination of different artists and Lieber and Bandini, they each have their strengths. I believe Bandini does a little bit more of the action-oriented scenes, whereas Lieber has a little bit more of the conversational type of scene. So I'm pretty sure I feel like I recognize both of their arts enough. So let's take a look at some of the art. And as I mentioned, I believe these are pages from Bandini. Like I said, pretty dynamic, very um, thematically more similar to Jimenez's art, specifically like you can see all the line work, right? The poses, like those are some things that are really really cool. We see here this Robin, this version of Robin as Bruce, the clone, stopping a crime, and then Batman finally confronts him. As you can see, this is all about what's the fallout from this individual still running around. Um, he discovers that he has no purpose now that Failsafe is gone. This Robin has no purpose. This copy of Bruce Wayne is also unfortunately aging out of control because obviously Failsafe cloned this person, or this Bruce, to make sure that he was of fighting age. So yeah, and it's interesting because Batman kind of has to confront with his own mortality via this proxy of a clone. And then also, like I said, how do we rebuild? How do we move forward? What do we do next? So yeah, fantastic issue overall. I really, really, I'm enjoying this Chip Zdarsky run so much that I'm ready to see what happens next. So now I feel like I made it sound like Chip Zdarsky's run was over. It's not. It's just this arc is ending, and then Absolute Power hits from the previews. from the next few months, we know that Chip Zdarsky will continue to write Batman, but we will go into this absolute power era, whatever that entitles for Batman. If you're not aware, absolute power is where Amanda Waller has put all the pieces in place and has stolen the superhero's powers. Obviously, Batman's not affected by that because he doesn't really have any superhuman abilities. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of role he plays going forward in this. But yeah, if you have read this issue, if you have read the failsafe arc from beginning to end now, or at least to this end, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. Hello, everyone. Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, we'll be doing a review for Batman Superman World's Finest number 28. This is a new book from DC Comics. Let's talk about the creative team before we get into this book. This book is written by Mark Waid with Dan Mora and Travis Mercer on art, Tamara Von Villen on colors, letters by Steve Wands, and a plethora of variant covers at the end of the video you'll be able to see. So yeah, the fifth dimensional imp continues to try to kill the universe. Looking for a fight, we saw that in the last issue, it was Jimmy Olsen, who has been now seen as the world's best superhero. So this big Doomite is just looking for a worthy opponent. So in this issue, heroes unite to save the fifth dimension and the Earth. Something is destroying the fifth dimension, and if an army of evil imps can obliterate all the joy in life from the entire reality, what chance do Superman and Batman stand against it? A multitude of DC guest stars and their fifth dimensional counterparts join the world's finest duo in a last-ditch attempt to save Earth from the ultimate darkness. Very excited for this. I've been enjoying this series from the get-go, and this is no exception. I think it's fun to have Dan Mora draw all this really weird, like fifth dimensional power shifting. There's a lot of things that require, what do you say? They require a little bit of more imagination, right? When traveling between dimensions, how do you put that on a flat medium, on a two-dimensional medium? So that's really interesting to see. And I think Dan Moore is definitely quite up to the task. Mark Waid, in the meanwhile, giving us a really fun story. And then, of course, you have Travis Mercer coming in to assist with all that, because there's definitely a lot happening on these pages. So many characters, so many imps, and then so many other concepts that are really, really interesting. I like to see when Batman and Superman go up against magic and these imps, because that's not really their forte, right? That's something that they seem to have trouble with, and I can definitely understand why. So let's take a look at some of the preview art here. And as I mentioned, Jimmy's the one left standing, which I forget. I love that the Doomite knows Jimmy's full name, James Bartholomew Olsen. That's how you know he's in trouble. Now all the other imps they just leave. That's how scared they are of this Doomite. And even after Mr. Mixliplick wanted to leave, obviously Robin stopped him, but he's kind of a coward, so he just gave Jimmy his power and he just runs off, which is really funny to see him in kind of a human form. But I'm really enjoying this. It's really crazy, kooky bananas. It's really interesting to see the team doing stuff like this, and then they're gonna do the absolute power stuff. So like how flexible, how the range that they have to work on these type of stories is really, really fun. So if you have read this, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments as well. Hello, everyone. Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, we'll be doing a review for Nightwing 115. This is a new book from DC Comics. Let's talk about the creative team before we get into this book. This Fallen Grayson Part 2 is written by Tom Taylor with art by Bruno Redondo. Caio Felipe on inks for a few of these pages, as you can see. And then we also have Adriano Luca on colors, Wes Abbott on letters, and some fantastic covers that you'll see at the end of the video by people like Dan Mora. And let's take a look at what's going on here. This is a really exciting issue. I think in the first issue, we see Nightwing off on a mission, but we don't know exactly how we got there. And this issue really goes into a lot of that. In this book, The Heartless Saga by Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo continues. When things go up in flames, Dick must put his feelings aside and help Shelton, aka Heartless, find his butler. After all, it's a superhero's job to save everyone, even the very bad. But every noble sacrifice comes with a price, and Nightwing finds himself in a situation only someone as cunning as Heartless could have concocted. So, yeah, I think as we saw in the last issue, Dick and the gang are at this gala celebrating Bloodhaven and the Alfred Pennyworth Foundation. And this is what Heartless has chosen to strike. He knows that getting to the heart of Bloodhaven means going through Dick Grayson. Now, there's a lot of interesting revelations here, and there's definitely uh, a big twist that happens towards the end of the issue. So that's really exciting stuff. But let's take a look at the preview art. You know, Bruno Redondo to me has become one of those artists that you just have to check out the stuff. Whatever they're working on, it's incredible stuff. It's always going to look really cool. I really appreciate how the everybody's hair obviously wet from the water that's coming down from the sprinklers, and like all that stuff really comes into play. Like it's just, you know, it makes it feel like it's really happening. So of course everything tinted with the orange glow. So Adriano Luca's really coming in there with that, and just the change in tone when we move up to these other rooms as the plan starts to happen. Um, you know, really interesting stuff. And here we see that Dick Grayson is probably going to fall for this trap. So one thing I really enjoyed that they added was I like when we go back to see a little bit of Dick's childhood. Now this is after he had suffered a fall at the circus, and he's just having kind of flashbacks as all this stuff is happening. I love to see, like I said, really fun to see interaction with his parents. We don't get to see that a lot. So, yeah, this issue definitely is getting to the heart of the matter. Pun fully intended there. And I think I'm finally coming around on the character of Heartless. It was definitely throughout the beginning of the few arcs, it was not somebody that I was like, can this really be as big of a threat to Nightwing as Blockbuster was? But Tom Taylor and the team are definitely raising the stakes. And as sad as I'll be that this series is and or their run is ending on the series, I'm very excited to see how things play out for the future. So, if you have hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Wonder Woman number 10. This is a new book from DC Comics. Let's talk about the creative team before we get into this book. This book is written by Tom King with art by Daniel St. Pierre. Tommy Murray on colors, letters by Clem Cowles. We also have a few covers. Julian Tedesco, Jeff Spokes, Dan Panosian. All those we'll see some at the end of the video. And Phil Jimenez as well. So really excited to see some of those covers. So let's talk about what happened. We have been seeing this sacrifice story where Diana has been captured. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what happened, but it's all leading up to this sacrifice finale. We finally understand the motivations behind Diana's actions for now. We have the team that's finally mobilizing, which, you know, the Wonder Girls, just for easy nomenclature to talk about the team as a whole. So in this issue, the girls are back in town. The cat has claws. Cheetah enters the fray as the Sovereign recruits Diana's greatest foe to deal the killing blow. Meanwhile, the Wonder Girls may have promised their mentor that they'd stay out of the fight, but well-behaved heroes seldom make history. Will they reach Diana before it's too late? Also, we have a backup story of Trinity. Of course, those are continuing to be some of the best stuff. Valen Ortega just doing such a bang-up job of giving us these little stories, along with Tom King, of course. But yeah, really fun to see Trinity interact as she's learning, she's growing. So really exciting stuff. So make sure to check out all those world's finest little tidbits at the end of the issue. So let's talk about this one though. Tom King has been doing such a great job, and just when I think I know where the story's going, we completely take a turn in a different direction, and I'm surprised and I love it, and I'm really enjoying it. Also, another standout thing about this issue is just Daniel St. Pierre's art. It's beautiful. Like, it's just really, really beautiful. Um, I just love the way that he designs characters, how the emotion you can really see in their faces that's really portrayed, and the way he panels the story. I think it also really, really works. So let's put up some preview art real quick. So here you can see the Wonder Girls trying to figure out where the invisible jet is, which is just such an it's such a fun ongoing bit throughout the issue. Then we also catch up with Diana as she's now on this island where she has been sent to pretty much fight Cheetah, or Cheetah's there to fight with her to take her out. Right? We saw that the Sovereign had brought in all of Diana's rivals and adversaries and villains to try to weaken her. And like I said, here's what I'm talking about. Like Saint Pierre is just the paneling, the pacing, because we have to catch up with Diana's inner monologue. This could be something that's just kind of boring, but we see that Diana is moving into the beach, and like I said, of course, beautiful, beautiful drawings by Daniel St. Pierre. Like this shot of Diana is just great. But then I love seeing, like, you see the cheetah in the background, right? So it's really fun to put this large figure of Diana in the foreground to kind of distract you from what's going on. And then you see, and then as you pay attention, like, oh, there's the cheetah in the background ready to pounce. As I mentioned, I love this invisible jet bit that kind of goes on throughout the whole thing. Tom King just really nailing the humor between all this stuff, right? So I think that's a lot of fun. Uh, which is like, nobody knows how to drive this thing. They found it, but now they can't really fly it. So it's really fun. I don't know. I feel like Diana should have give the girls a quick lesson on how to fly the jet. And then I wanted to bring up, we do get to see a really cool fight. I think, like I said, Saint Pierre just does this in a really fun way. You see that every square takes place in a different place of the island, and that just goes to show you how long this fight goes on for, right? Until it just, like I said, it goes on and on and on, and they finally come to a conclusion. But then, like I said, there's still another turn, another twist that Tom King and the team deliver. Um, this is such a great ongoing book. Wonder Woman has been just such a gem to read. I am a big fan of Tom King, a big fan of Saint Pierre as well. So very excited to see where we're going to go from here, how they're going to take on the Sovereign, all that stuff. It's going to be so much fun. So if you have read this, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.